Crit status active. Orbital status standby.
What is up, Guardians? This is Cosmodrome Radio, broadcasting from here all the way to Europa next week because we got some fun stuff coming. And the only reason why I know that is because people keep going outside the map, and I'm happy about it. I'm not happy about it, but like it's fine. That's just my little rant because y'all people going outside the map and putting it on YouTube is really annoying. But it's fine. This is
It's not fine.
It's not fine, but like it's whatever. This is Cosmodrome Radio, the podcast all about Destiny 2 and all the fun stuff going on with it. It's a nice little variety show where a bunch of gays hang out and have a good time. My name is Panda the Paladin. To my left, we have the NB who doesn't sleep. The person who got the bow on the first try of the dungeon today, and I'm salty about it because I still haven't got it after 4 runs. But Pris, how you doing this evening?
That's rude. I was just gonna announce that.
Well, I stole it. There you go.
I'm okay. I'm glad to be on my week off because it was a really weird week at work with we had like a whole threat to the hospital, code silver thing, and then the fire alarm went off.
Classic.
Yeah, it was just like a whole thing.
Classic schmosby.
I'm glad to
You
not
just
be
made such
working
a dated reference. Oh my god. You just made a How I Met Your Mother reference in a Destiny 2 podcast. How do you feel?
I feel amazing.
Oh my god. Anyway, speaking of which, to my right, we have the other human that got the bow on the first try. The electrician of the podcast, because this man legit ran through the whole dungeon, like just sniping every electrical cable, like freaking Tim the Tool Man. We have Toll. How you doing this evening?
It's
the Tool Man.
Arctrician. Thank you very much.
Oh my god.
Let's be honest here. And I'd like to thank Panda and shout out to Sarah for helping me get the bow first try. It was I'd like to thank my mom for getting the bow first try.
We went in there and like quite literally that first day was just nuts. But we'll talk about it in a minute. And then across from me, we have the tired NB, as it were. The one who fights in PvP despite many frustrations. We have Falcon. How you doing?
Oh, good. My brain is fried. I'm just excited to be able to play the dungeon this weekend finally to get to it.
Hell yeah! I'll take you through it. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that feeling.
If you get the ball on the first try, I'm gonna be pissed. But it's fine. All right. Well, let's go ahead. And don't forget, folks, that you can listen to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, all those great places. You can also join the Discord. It is now live. You can join the Discord, answer, you submit listener questions, talk about the game. Just talk to us. Have a good time. All that fun stuff. And a link will be in the show notes. That way you can always access the Discord server and have a fun time. And also we do have a mod. Watson will fuck you up, so be careful.
You have a mod?
Yeah, Watson volunteered.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That's how disconnected I am in my 7 days in a row.
Jesus. Okay. Anyway, but also, we're gonna go ahead and dive in before we go deep into all the stuff that happened this week, because a lot of stuff happened this week. I do want to start the show by giving a shout out to DMG, the longtime community manager for Destiny 2 and for Bungie, has decided to leave Bungie, and he made this giant post about it today, talking about his experience. He had been there since House of Wolves, did all this hard work, and it honestly has been one of the greatest links to a gaming community ever. Like, I will die on that hill. That and granted, we have the next generation with Hippie. And I think his name is Bruno. He did the 12 this week. We have a new generation of people that are going to take the reins from him. But this man legitimately cares so much about the community. And even through death threats and to the point that Bungie is now suing somebody for trying to track him down and hurt him. He was dedicated to this community, and I have to pour one out for the man, because that hard work right there caring about this game for so long is just tremendous. So we from the podcast wish you the best and everything that you do moving forward. It's gonna be sad not having you around, but we would definitely wish you all the best. So like hats off to you. Brain fart because I had to like do that off the cuff because I legit like I love the work he's done. So that's just yeah. Let me look at the agenda real quick. Okay, yeah. Sorry.
I don't see that on the agenda, Panda.
Well, you know, it was off the cuff because things happen. Anyway, let's go ahead and throw on our cowboy hats because, or in the case of two of y'all, cow person hats. Freaking.
I prefer Wanderer.
Wanderer. Okay, cool, fair enough. Or Wanted, as the seal is.
Ooh, I do like.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, the seal's called Wanted.
I
It's pretty
didn't know
dope.
that. That's awesome.
But no, the Spire of the Watcher came out this week, and it like we were literally recording the last show as the dungeon was going live, so we didn't get to talk about it in depth. But let's go ahead and dive into this. I want to start off with like overall opinions and everything. How like now that like everyone's done it, how are y'all feeling about the dungeon? You heathens with your bows.
Wait, I thought Falcon
Well,
hasn't done it.
Falcon
Since I
hasn't
haven't done it, mine's the most important opinion.
Yes, it is.
I
What you've
think-
seen, Falcon, how do you feel about it?
From what I've seen, I think reusing I forget the soul.
Soul Divisive?
The Soul Divisive
is such a good concept. I think they need more showtime. So it was really cool seeing those bosses and enemies again. And I think the weapons and the armor are all really well designed. I think they've been doing really well making stuff like that.
Hell yeah. Toll, you were pretty excited to go in. We both got our cowboy hats finally. So how you feeling?
like that dungeon. It's the whole like connecting the dots arctrician thing really itched part of my brain, and I was just going off my first run with Panda. I was just doing it because I was just so focused on it because it was such like a good brain itch. I love it.
It was a good vibe, I will say. Like I have been begging Bungie for a Vex dungeon for so long, and I got it. I very much, I will say, I wish it would have been a little bit longer, had like a couple more puzzles, because here's my controversial take that like no one's gonna appreciate. I think no dungeon has matched the complexity of Pit of Heresy and Prophecy, where there's so much extra to do outside of the encounters, because there's the first encounter, like for Pit of Heresy, that's the going to the different places to teach you the mechanic. There's the Annihilator Totem, and then there's the end fight. But between that, you have jumping puzzles, you have running from ogres to put void charges and things. There's a secret area for an extra gun. For Prophecy, there's the 3 encounters, but then there's like teaching you the mechanics, and then there's the running around and dodging invisible, taking minotaurs, the destroy blights, and then there's the jumping puzzle. Like there's so much interconnectedness versus something like Shattered Throne or Grasp or Duality, where you get to your goal and that's it. Like it feels very on point, no stopping. Like the most comparable to any of it would be Duality with the turning of the statues, but even that's very brief. So I very much wish we got back to that, where there's complexity inside. But for what we got, I really enjoyed the mechanic. I enjoyed that after the second boss, they added another layer to it with the red wires. I will say, any person that bitched about reusing the Garden of Salvation boss, do you know how many times we've reused bosses in dungeons?
Nobody.
We have not seen Blast Titanics. Yeah.
Legitimately, there's been even Pit of Heresy was rip off Crota. It's still one of the best dungeons in the game, but it was rip off Crota.
He's dying.
But it was red, so it wasn't.
Well, yeah. Shattered Throne has a witch and an ogre as its final boss. It ain't that complex. We've reused bosses. What matters is the journey and the complexity of it. Hell, Like they even gave us the first ever soul divisive wyvern, which that was freaking terrifying. Like we dropped down, I was like, oh, that's a scary motherfucker right there.
Panda does not like him at all. Confirmed.
Yeah.
Percival.
Yeah. But that thing is scary. So and hell, even that final room, the final boss room, how they made you go back and forth in both rooms mattered. It was very enjoyable.
Oh, because it's like an extermination chamber, right?
Right, yeah,
that's cool.
because you use the chamber to overload it and kill and break its immune barrier to do damage.
Yeah.
And like, there's a couple glitches with it. Like, someone figured out that if you jolt the freaking wyvern, from throwing a storm grenade at a harpy, you can one shot it. Which that's a glitch. Bungie will fix it. There's the whole glitch with everyone's solar wells being able to like do like 100% extra damage, so you can one phase it. That's gonna get fixed. But I do feel this dungeon is gonna have a really big problem with power creep as we gain more light compared to other dungeons where it feels like it's a challenge. This one especially is gonna have a problem with power creep because the way we're already able to two-phase the sanctified mind in the second encounter, and the fact that people are already able to like two to three phase the final boss. I feel like if Bungie doesn't like fix the level, like the light system a little bit, or fix the leveling of it, it's gonna have a power creep problem. That's just me.
I think we'll see major light and power changes in Lightfall. I think we're gonna have a major power revision where everything like dungeons and stuff will have like the +5 modifier like this season has in those.
I hope so. That +5 modifier is fun.
It's super fun.
It's probably their way of lab testing it right now.
Yep. Oh, for sure.
Also, Panda, I want to disagree with you slightly on your whole, like, other dungeons haven't been this complex, because you have to...
Okay, speak. It was your turn anyway.
Because you have to keep in mind that the dungeons were complex or scary or whatever for when they first came out. So, Shattered Throne, you could only get it the certain week of the curse, and then...
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that.
Through the Ascendant challenges, if you're like me at least, you spent a good couple of those Ascendant challenges running and screaming from the giant knights. So when you go to get when you go to do the boss, and all of a sudden 3 of those bad boys pop up, and there's not really a lot of safe places to stand.
Yeah, but even Shattered Throne is the worst contender when it comes to power creep density, because like even last night I ran Shattered Throne to get the checkpoint to farm the final boss for Dawning Material. That thing right there, you can one-shot the ogre with 3 thunder crashes.
I'm not talking on power creep though. I'm talking about like you're talking about complexity and puzzles
okay,
and
that's
stuff.
fair enough.
And especially in that ogre room when you were trying to get Wish Under, there's an invisible boss in there you have to kill. Like
that's true. That's very true.
And because I remember when Shattered Throne first came out, and it was just I remember running around that room with my friends, having no idea what to do. And we're just like, what do we do? And so. Or, you know, figuring out you could skip all the enemies after that and just go up the elevator. You trying to run around the outside of the walls, you know, and not get booped into the oblivion. So I think each dungeon has been important in its own way for when it was released. But when you're comparing it and you're looking back, yeah, they're not going to be the same because Bungie has started to do new things over the years as they've released new content.
I think I can agree with that if we're looking at it from that standpoint. So if we're looking at it from that direction, I think the only one that like has kind of failed to meet the mark for me is Duality, because Duality legitimately like it feels like an actual like a battle for its replayability, but not an enjoyable battle. Like it feels like you're having to like slog through it versus Grasp. I can run through Grasp every day and have a good time because like the music feels good, the adventure feels good, the audio logs, the excitement of the loot cave, Shattered Throne, the mystery in the curse changes is fun. Bit of Heresy, you're going like deeper into the moon and whatnot. It's fun. Hell, even this, just a random new installation and like the Vexor here and like the submines can be destroyed. It's so awesome. Hell, just like the Osiris audio, but like Duality, other than callous family drama, is not an enjoyable experience. Like it just doesn't feel like.
Well, it was
that's
also,
just my hot take.
Also, you didn't like it, and I will agree with you on this point. You really didn't like it because it was so closely attached to the story for the season, which now that, the season is not the current season anymore, going back, it doesn't have the same feel story-wise if you didn't play it when it was meant to be played. Like, the story doesn't have as much meaning if you're just playing it as a standalone thing, whereas, the other dungeons, I feel like they do.
Right, and I'll even say this: like my criticism from there also stands for Spire, but the difference between Duality and Spire is they tied it so close to a character rather than an entity that you can like gut Osiris's voice out or change Osiris's audio the same way they used to do with Presage, and immediately tweak this into just an adventure in a installation and make it real quick a Vex thing. You don't have to tie it to the season. You can say like the Soul Defense of Vex are doing this and be done with it. Hell, you could just gut the audio out of it and just like make it like Pit of Heresy and Prophecy and Shattered Throne. You don't have to tie it in. In Duality, that shit is tied to Callus's dick, and you can't do anything about it. That's my biggest problem with that.
Without spoiling what the recording or who the recordings are from, if Falcon doesn't know, you could probably cut those too, and it would still be the same.
Right? Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Because
Toll, I'm over here shitting on your favorite raid. Speak on it.
I mean dungeon.
Yeah,
Well,
your favorite
y'all
dungeon.
have been going off on my favorite dungeon. I'm just sitting here like, I don't like that dungeon. It's fun. It's linear. You go shoot up, do this, shoot a few bells, make a few music notes, then go kill then go rip stuff out of Callus's mind. No big deal. Has some good weapons. Overall, 6 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't need a bell.
That's a 6 out of 10.
I don't need a bell to ring me back.
Yeah.
That's my biggest problem with it.
Right. Also, you just gave a fail grade to your favorite dungeon. Like a 6 out of 10 is a 60%, my guy.
Yeah, I know.
As the person who was probably the least excited about Spire to come out here, I was pleasantly surprised. Confused as shit by the mechanic because I because I that's why you guys didn't see me a lot in the clan chat this week. I was avoiding everything because I didn't want spoilers. And so I kind of was confused, but I told Toll going in with it that I don't like spoilers, but if you explain encounters to me as we get there, that I'm fine with. If you just try to bulldoze through and don't let me experience anything, that's when I have a problem.
That's fair.
So I liked it. I thought it was fun. The jumping puzzles were not too bad. When the first time you see the boss, I was like, what is that? They're like, it's Percy. And I'm like, who? No, you can't just drop that like we used to drop Trevor on people from 0 Hour.
Which funny as shit. The first day we did the dungeon, me and Toll were in the fans, like the fan section of the dungeon. Mm-hmm. And I was like, hey, this is very reminiscent of 0 Hour.
I called that out too.
Right, and Toll like just out of nowhere just goes, if Trevor's here, I swear to God. And I'm like, bro, calm down.
Trevor just somehow got to Mars. That would have been funny. Yeah, no, they're like, that's Percy. I'm like, no, we don't just name things here. If we name them, there's usually a reason.
Yeah, Percy a bad bitch. Scary bitch, but it's fine. So that like that I feel like we've kind of all said dungeon good. I will say, all the shout out to you if you were able to solo flawless the first day, but y'all need to calm down saying the dungeon was easy and Bungie needs to like make harder content.
Bro, that shit was kind of hard at first.
Right, like that shit kicked like our ass. Like we granted we didn't like bounty grind to hell and we weren't on max power cap day one, but like that for what it was, that shit was pretty hard. Like you had freaking basic ass goblins beaming me across the map and killing me occasionally.
Supplicants.
Supplicants. Oh my god.
Supplicants everywhere.
When you have literally a torch hammer minotaur, Percy, and supplicants in one room, not a fun time. Yeah. I mean, it's Vex. I don't think like supplicants is a spoiler. Like Falcon, are supplicants a spoiler? Like we expect supplicants at this point.
Okay.
I think Falcon's dead.
We were talking about the dungeon, so I was zoning out.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, I said
Okay, so let's
sorry.
go.
I said sorry about the spoilers.
Oh, I didn't hear any even. So.
Apparently, like they zoned out. So that's why I worked out. All right, perfect. So we'll go ahead and move on then from there. So I will say that sidearm is going to be a monster in PvP. That's all I'm gonna say about that. So Dawning is this week. I will say, for anybody who hasn't figured out yet, the only thing you need to masterwork your oven, if you're a returning player and you've masterworked your oven in the past, just go make Finch a cookie. Just go make Finch a cookie,
Cookie got cookie.
and you'll be fine.
And you don't
And
even
then
need to guess the recipe either. It's just there for you.
Like, legitimately,
nice.
it's just there. So just like, don't freak out. Just make Finch a cookie. Take the stupid ghost a cookie, and you're fine. I'm still
Cookie got
sad
cookie.
we can't take Riven cookies anymore. I miss taking Riven cookies, but it's fine. I love
So
the new
we were
armor.
running when we were running Last Wish the other day for the Pinnacle, and while we were in the whole like Riven boss area, you drop down and I just see the little thing to give Riven a cookie. Like it's in the game still.
Oh,
The
you
little
just can't
node?
make the cookies.
Yeah. It's
Like
still in the game.
There's no, yeah, it's in the game, but like you can't drop down and give Riven a cookie. They took it out of the oven.
I told my coworker about the snow globe thing.
Oh, yeah.
The
So
what?
yeah, no. Priz,
I-
what's the snow globe thing for Toll?
Oh, the snow globe thing was where you deposited the cookies.
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, but in general, Dawning's the same as it always is. There's just really good loot to chase this time. Like, the new pulse rifle is really freaking good. They've, like, the Glacioclasm is still a banger. So, if you want Glacioclasm, go for it.
Is that
Fresh your high impact reserves.
Yeah, or freaking what was it? Slide Shot Kickstart apparently is really freaking savage on it.
That too.
So like definitely look into those. There's 3 shaders you can get, one from the event card and 2 others from doing parts of the event card. So
There's one in the Eververse store right now too.
yeah, the Eververse one is very pretty. So there's stuff to grind. I like it.
I
It's
look
Christmas.
terrible. I'll send you a picture.
But oh lord, but no. So definitely grind out that. We're gonna come back to seasonal content next week because some people didn't play the seasonal content. So we'll talk about the Braid family drama next week. Get ready for that.
I can take my
but
headset off if you guys want to talk about it. It's fine.
No, it's fine. Like, plus next week we get the new pulse rifle. So like talking of the season after 3 weeks will be more fun.
Okay.
Because next week shit's gonna ramp up, so it'll be more fun. Just the Brave family drama has been hysterical. Like, it's a freaking soap opera, and I love it. But now we move on to the really meat and potatoes of the podcast, because ironically, on another podcast yesterday, the Destiny Community Podcast spinoff podcast, Firing Range, did an interview with Mercules and Chris Proctor, weapon designers for Bungie, and some of the stuff that they talked about was kind of insane. For like, it mostly talks about just weapons for PvE and PvP. So like, things across the board are affected everywhere. Granted, a lot of the conversation dominated with airborne effectiveness, which, for those who don't know, about 2 seasons ago, Bungie implemented a situation where when you jump into the air, your guns aren't as accurate. You can't, like even if you're like pinpoint on a reticle, like on someone's head, you're not gonna hit something because like you're in the air, you're moving around, you're falling, like you're gonna miss your shot. So they made it actually be more realistic in a way. However, there has been some complaints in the community in regards to, hey, even if I build into this, some stuff still misses. And even when we don't build into it, there's such a negative modifier that the gameplay is just not fun unless we do build into it. So basically the giant community consensus has been, we don't like this. And Bungie's like, okay, fine, but airborne effectiveness is still going to be in the game to some degree. So to all you people who don't like airborne effectiveness, you gotta suck it up. It's
And
gonna
so
get
all you people complaining, and a lot of us are saying, hey, wait, they're going to fix it, give them time. Me being one of them, you can go back and listen to the tape on previous episodes. I've said that.
Mhm.
I was right. I feel vindicated. I'm
think-
happy.
Even though Bungie doesn't owe it to us to tell us that, they use us just to live test all their implemented changes. I think it would satiate a lot of like loud people in the community that like make people get mad at Bungie for no reason if they just told them like, hey, we ship stuff because it's easier just to have the community play test things and then we'll fix them or change them to where they want to be, because we don't have the people power essentially to make things perfect, which is reasonable.
Well, and not only that. Go ahead first. I'll
I
talk
swear
about
this
that.
past week when I was working, I saw a video of where somebody was talking about that, about how everything works when they're playtesting it, but once you release it to the public can find bugs a lot faster than their playtesters do.
Yeah.
And it's like that. I think I've
Yeah.
said that before in the past. It's like the playtesters are going to do as good as they can, but then you release it to the goblins of the community, and we're going to find the bugs and the
Yeah.
what's the word? Exploits.
I mean, I did see, I don't remember who suggested it, but someone did suggest they have like an invite only server for community members to playtest changes before they're shipped.
That would be
Well, like the one thing that I like that I even like noticed is Bungie even kind of said something else in regards to it, where they put out stuff early because they knew things like Strand is coming next year. Because Strand, we already know the grappling hook, the different types of aerial things they're doing with it. It's going to be very airborne heavy. So they were like, hey, we're going to roll this out. That way you can play test it and find the flaws with it and figure out what it is. And then not tell you about the fact that the new subclass is going to have a big part of that, because we don't want you to know everything. But I will say the counter to that is, if you're going to affect a PvP meta and PvE situations in that kind of situation, I think we need to go to a point like Prism Falcon just did with the playtest server, or kind of how Dead by Daylight does, where they have a dedicated PTB, a dedicated player test system. That way it doesn't affect the ongoing gameplay of the game, and you can test it, you can figure out the flaws, because then you have this entire like whole expansion where people are complaining constantly about how PvP isn't enjoyable. So I see both sides of it a little bit, where like Bungie's like, hey, we'd rather you guys figure it out and help us find the kinks. But also it's like, why ruin your entire meta for so long, if that makes sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna play devil's advocate and say they don't actually ever ruin the metas. People are just get stuck in a certain way, and metas, it's honestly the most fun when the game's changing, so I don't really mind when things change as severely as they do sometimes, especially with aerial effectiveness. It didn't really change how I played, but I know it changed a lot of people's play styles. But that just means the meta is going to be different for a while, and that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's just different, and I think that
players
upsets
have to
people.
adapt, and they don't like that, which is something else we've touched on before.
Yeah. Yeah. Which isn't a bad thing, like it's understandable, but I do think it's reasonable in a live service game to adapt constantly.
Right. So it's very much one of those situations where Bungie's trying to do some cool things, but it affects things in an expansive way. And one thing that they talked about like greatly in this is that like it's not leaving, but they did even admit they did overtune it. They did overtune it and were very conservative with it, because they wanted to then be able to like twist dials and turn levers and be able to fix it as time goes on. But they didn't want to push out something super light and it feel like there was never a change. Because here's the controversial opinion that PvP players don't want to hear. You running around the map with stompies and shotgunning people from a million miles in the air is not competitive. It's not a high skill curve.
Oh, that is your only argument.
Hey, if you're gonna bully hunters, I'm gonna bully titans right now. So
let me finish my point, because honestly, that was one of the biggest things that played into airborne effectiveness becoming a thing also was that they saw that Stompies was the longest running, highly used exotic for hunters, and you saw constantly throughout the meta for so long. Doesn't matter what your subclass is, doesn't matter what you're running. It could be whatever shotgun you want. It could be an SMG. It could be whatever, a hand cannon. You were running around the map. Not you specifically. I'm saying hunters, but like you saw people jumping up and jumping up and jumping up, and just shotgunning people from millions of miles in the air. And doesn't matter how high your sensitivity was. Doesn't matter what's going on. People were like, you could do nothing to stop it. And there were people in the community who were saying that's just a high skill curve. You need to get good. That's not a high skill curve. That's you legitimately having no like penalty for jumping up in the air and hitting a shot that realistically doesn't make sense. Now
That's a fair point.
That's why I was like, that's why I was trying to say, like, let me finish. Like, I'm not taking shots at just hunters. I'm saying, like, because even warlocks were doing it too with like heat rises and shit like that. And when y'all had like double Icarus dash.
Now Titans are doing it. They just float up in the air and then they get it behind me and shoulder charge me because it's
but shoulder charge is even broken
degrees.
right now in general. Like shoulder charge is one of the most broken mechanics in the game that Bungie refuses to fix. They nerfed it into the ground. And then now you have situations now where the tracking on it is horrible to where if anyone jumps, dodges, moves slightly to the left, you bounce off of them. And sometimes it'll even take away your melee and nothing happens. So shoulder charge has its own complications and problems that need to be addressed in its own right. But
melee hit recognition.
That too.
Oh my god, don't get me started.
That too. But like that's what I was trying to say in terms of like why AE was created, like partially was also like there were so like you saw like every week in trials you would see like there's 3 hunters, 3 shotguns, 3 stompies. They could have like 3 different supers and you wouldn't even know it. And they would just be jumping over people, shooting them in the head. And that was the meta.
I do agree. I think specials should have a severe aerial penalty. I think primary should go back to base play. I think it feels really bad when you just get bumped into the air and you miss a shot and you lose the fight because of it. But I think shotguns and fusion rifles and snipers should stay. Like when you jump in the air, you better be building into it or else you're not going to get that kill. I think more dynamic play comes from primaries always.
Right, and they even said that they're like the biggest like highlight of the podcast was they're going to be rolling back AE on primaries entirely to the point that it's going to feel like how primaries used to be with Icarus grip. Yeah. So you're going to be back where just primaries are, but you're still going to see special weapons take more skill in the air because that way you're not just jumping over someone's head and shotgunning them. You actually have to play and be able to hit your shots rather than you just going up in the air and having no way to combat it. Because people legitimately had no way to counter, no way to combat it, and you were just dead. There was no penalty whatsoever. So now you see growth, change, and like evolution of the system. Because I have a really bad fear if we already know that people can like grapple on the thunder crashes, that tells me that grappling hook's going to be off the chain, and you're going to see people launching themselves across the map in PvP. And it's going to be crazy. So
I think it's going to play like the Master Chief Infinity, where it has like a set speed. You can't actually like increase your like, you can't, it's not like going to be like a Titanfall or Apex grapple. It's going to be like you grapple and you go exactly linear where you're going. So I don't think it'll be that nuts, but it'll definitely be crazy at first.
Right. It'll like take people getting used to it and whatnot for it to actually like get somewhere. So that's honestly everything they talked about in terms of like AE. I will say they did acknowledge that when it came to the heavy snipers getting like plus 80 airborne effectiveness, that was just something they wanted to do for them because they weren't really doing anything. And also that wasn't even supposed to be in the TWAB. They forgot to take it out at the last minute. So that's funny. But they did say, and I really appreciate this, come Lightfall, for people who have been wanting Whisper of the Worm to do a thing, it's gonna be able to really do a thing because they know it's where they want it to be. in terms of its damage output, in terms of its like accessibility in PvP, not PvP, PvE. But the problem is LFRs. Linear fusion rifles are the most dominant thing in the game to the point they're power creeping other like ways to do DPS. So them even acknowledging that tells me LFRs are coming back down here in a minute, which I'm very much okay with, because we've had a year of LFR, actually a year and a half of LFRs. I think it's time to come down.
I wonder what's going to take its place. Like in the meta.
I think that I think now with the target lock perk they just introduced, I think you might see machine guns come back. Like honestly, I think you might see a machine gun meta.
But I like the LFR meta because it's don't bring them down too, make them still viable. Because like I don't want to lose out on all my favorite linear fusions.
That's fair.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that would be the point of a rework. I think they'd bring them more in line. I think it's easier to bring them more in line with other things than bring everything up to them.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. So that there's that like issue there. I think the also thing is the problem with LFRs being so dominant, you don't see, like, other than like maybe rockets, you don't see anything else being used for DPS. Like,
no.
Granted, we keep having the cycle of different things being used for DPS. Like before, we had slug shotguns and anarchy, and then before that, we had Izanagi's. Now Izanagi's is like back in with the LFRs. Like there needs to be a cycling of the DPS meta, because now we've had Lightfall and Kingsfall, where not Lightfall and Kingsfall. Witch Queen and Kingsfall, where both raids were affected by LFRs. So we need to see a change. Otherwise, the Lightfall Day 1 raid is just going to be LFRs again. So I think them changing things up a little bit, there'll be a little bit more of a change for next season, which I'm excited about.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That good old change.
Gosh.
Good old change.
One thing in regards to airborne effectiveness that I'm excited about is they did announce that they are looking into changing how airborne effectiveness kicks in when you're like walking downstairs, or like you fall off of a short ledge, or like you step onto a pebble and it thinks you're in the air, kind of thing. So that's definitely gonna be getting fixed. Like the one like contributing thing of their reasoning behind it is like GMs and Nightfalls, where the grounded modifier is applied, and you're just like halfway up in the air on a staircase, and the game thinks you're in the air. So it's like one shot from a sniper because of grounded. So that was their thought process. So that was their thought process behind that, which I very much am okay with, because yeah, that stuff is annoying. Exotics that are getting reworks in Lightfall. Finally, Queenbreaker is getting a dang rework. I wanted it this season. I didn't get it, but thankfully we're getting a rework for Queenbreaker. Love it. Ruinous Effigy, Leviathan's Breath, 1K Voices, and Sunshot and Prometheus Lens, and Two-Tailed Fox and Polaris Lance are all getting reworks, which tells me they're getting reworks to go with the new Void 3.0 and Solar 3.0 verbs. So that's my like hot take, is that's why all of them are getting reworked. That way they all work with the new verbs and the new abilities and whatnot. Because Ruinous Effigy with Volatile, oh yes, please. Then they did mention that DMT and Hawkmoon will be becoming craftable down the line. Hell yeah. Why'd you just scoff? Explain yourself.
Priz plus crafting equals spicy Priz.
I'm good.
Spicy Priz, come on out. Talk to the people.
I'm tired. I'm tired. Yes, I can.
No. You can't do that. No. This is a show. You need to give the people what they want.
You
Spicy
gave us the
Priz.
mission, and then you made us run the mission for the other perks, and then you got rid of the missions and just made them buyable random rolls every week, and now you're making them crafted? Why?
Because because apparently, from what Proctor said, they were already planning crafted stuff when they thought of DMT and Hawkmoon. Like they were the precursors. So the idea of them bringing in the precursors into the crafted system is them kind of being grandfathered in.
Sure. That's not going to make me pick the guns back
Response, spicy praise. Oh, you're not going to grind for
No,
a god roll DMT?
Not unless some changes get made.
I might go for the Hawkmoon.
Apparently, DMT is doing really good in PvP right now, from what people are saying. Like, people are running like DMT and a Matador, so your gun's kind of making a
Not for
comeback
me.
this season.
It's just because there's so many weapons now, people forget they exist, and then a streamer tries something new, and they're like, "Oh, I gotta make a YouTube video about this," and then everybody uses them again, and everybody thinks it's meta again when it never changed. It was always good.
Well, no, DMT just got a buff. They fixed like the cranial spike and actually like buffed it a little bit, so everyone's been running around with it more.
I guess that's fair.
I don't have the swap in front of me to give you the exact patch.
But you don't have to look it up unless you restored it to how it originally was.
While I do that,
I don't care. Yeah.
They didn't do that. Then here was the thing that kind of made me sad. They're nerfing Dead Messenger in PvP.
Why?
Good.
I'm a little sad. I enjoyed my Dead Messenger triple grenade because I enjoyed my Dead Messenger triple grenade build because I would literally just run around with Storm Nades and Dead Messenger and be a dick.
Point and shoot.
And like I can admit, like, Dead Messenger is kind of busted because it can shoot 3 different directions. So it did need to come down a little bit. But like, especially when they just introduced the like elemental capacitor thing for it, where it has different perks on the different elements, it's like it's kind of messed up. They're like, hey, we're gonna nerf it now. It's like, we don't know when the nerf's even coming or what the nerf's even gonna do. We just know Proctor said it's gonna get nerfed in the future. So I almost said Dead Messenger again. Revoker is crawling its way out of its grave, and god damn it, I hate it. Because apparently, because of the new comp system not being light enabled, people are bringing back sunset guns to use in comp. So people have been using like Titan's Ramparts and Revoker and just sitting down lane and getting free ammo from things. And now Bungie's like, oh, y'all thought y'all were slick, right? So we're gonna rework it and make it so it takes 2 shots to refund your ammo. I'm like, ooh. But here's the hot take that no one's even mentioning. Why is comp not light enabled, Bungie?
Because that's not the point of it.
But the thing is, they went through all the effort to sunset these guns because they were a problem in PvP, only for them to go, hey, light enabled doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. Then that emphasizes the whole point of why sunset in the first place, and why they should just turn the guns back on if light enabled doesn't matter. And if we get to a point where they do remove the light system in general, sunsetting doesn't matter, and you're going to see Mountaintop, Recluse, Revoker come back because they have no light. They have no number factor in general, and sunsetting will mean nothing, and it's going to be kind of annoying to see these guns come back. Well, the whole reason was to nerf them and rework them like they're doing now with Revoker. If you're going to nerf Revoker, just put a new number on it and put it back as light enabled. I don't understand what the problem is.
The problem is they're just putting a band-aid on it for a little problem that came up. Changing everything back to the main power level right now would create more problems than just fixing one little problem. And it's not even really a problem. Those guns have always been good. People just don't use them because they don't think about it. And then it fits the need at the time. And then it's like a week or two of a broken meta and it's fixed. The point of comp ladder is not your power level. It is about playing against people of similar skill level. And the Revoker takes away from that right now. So they're just going to fix it.
I don't know. I'm just real worried because here in a minute when people start using Mountaintop, it's going to be like, well, y'all should have just turned the light on. And it's the same reason the issue I have with Iron Banner, because when Iron Banner first took away the light and capability, you saw people like Toll running around with Mountaintop. You saw people running around with Recluse, and you laughing because you know it's true. Y'all did that shit, and it was like,
But
why are you
so-
abused? Why do take away the light enable capability when it's linked to Trials? Trials is supposed to be is light enabled. It's competitive. Why? Like, what's the difference?
Because
It doesn't make sense.
people go funny, haha. They use it for like the first week, and then they realize, oh, this isn't actually as good as other things that are in the game. Now I'm going to put it away.
And
But
I
when
was
you
getting
play Iron Banner, now, you
at
can
Toll
see that.
pulling out Mountaintop and then complaining
That's
that it
fair.
wasn't as good.
It's like, and yeah, like it's a funny haha moment when people realize they can use sunset weapons again. But the reality is that the skill level of the game has increased past them. They were good at the time and they're just not anymore. The Revoker just now, for like the things that are in the game now, just happened to fit into a niche that didn't exist before, and now it does. So they're just going to rework it again.
That's fair. I'll give you that. Osmosis and Elemental Capacitor are confirmed to work with Strand when they come out, which is really exciting. Proctor did say that Elemental Capacitor for Strand is going to involve airborne effectiveness, so that's kind of cool.
Am I dumb right now? Is there a stasis buff? I didn't even know there was now.
There is a stasis buff. It's similar to Void, where it affects like handling and a couple other things.
Okay.
Mercules talked about how he designed his first exotic, from the ground up, which is Revision 0 coming next week. Apparently, this gun is the hottest shit Bungie's ever made, because you can customize everything about it. It's the first exotic to have origin perks, origin traits, but it has 2 brand new origin traits. And it's going to be useful in both PvE and PvP, because apparently Mercules' intention was for it to be able to compete with hand cannons like Rose and the new Trials hand cannon, but also be on the same PvE level as Arbalest. And I'm like, what? Like, that's a lot to put in one gun. And as someone who's a pulse rifle hoe like me, I'm about to be like,
I'm
what?
scared.
Why are you scared?
I'm glad they're finally taking a risk. I feel like it's been a long time since Destiny's taken a risk with something.
Right, like it's been a hot minute, and like for you to go so expansive with this kind of weapon, it's kind of nutty. So I'm excited to see what happens. Why are you scared, Toll? Speak on it.
That just sounds scary, and it's gonna be everywhere, and I'm just gonna have to deal with that. And I'm like, yay! More bullshit to deal with in Trials. Wonderful.
It's Destiny.
Yeah, it's Destiny, so it ain't that big of a deal.
I know, I'm just...
But like, the game will evolve, things will come out, and it'll be fun. So like, I'm excited to see what happens. So like, we'll definitely see what happens there. One thing that they did mention is they are working on a perk for Void similar to Volt Shot and Incandescent, but we don't know when it's coming, and we don't know what it's called. We don't know what it's gonna do. So stay tuned. Well, that was a little weird, but it's cool.
What do you mean you don't use Repulsor Brace?
Fuck Repulsor Brace. I'm sorry, but Repulsor Brace feels so like unuseful.
It's so forced.
It's
like
so
even
stupid.
when it first came out, it came out during what, like Season of the Haunted or season before last, and it just wasn't good. So like it still isn't doing a thing, and my brain's just like whatever.
I saw a video where it has like infinite uptime now with Gwizin's, the new
Gwizin Buzz. Oh, Gear Falcons, yeah, because Gear Falcon now having infinite volatile rounds is kind of terrifying, I'm not gonna lie. But it's not a problem in PvP because it doesn't get like double damage for going in biz, so I'm okay with it. Like you have fun in PvE, I don't care.
Oh yeah, I don't care.
The new like they did talk about.
I was just gonna say
at the beginning of the show
some,
go ahead.
a particular content creator complaining about the changes to Gear Falcon that were coming at one point with the invisibility, something about finishers, and I was like, but that's you can't do finishers in PvP. That's not going to affect you at all.
Right. It won't affect anything. So it's like, why care? Like, it'll be good for end game
L
PvE,
ratio.
and that's it.
Bungie, bring back assassinations.
Oh
from
God.
Halo.
Jesus Christ. They did talk about how with the new design philosophy for the new weapons that came out recently, they wanted to add new archetypes to some of the foundries. Like they added an aggressive frame to Hake and whatnot. And I really loved this comment. I really loved it. I was super excited about it. But I don't know if I can get if Proctor will ever listen to the show, or if we could ever get Proctor on to talk about this. And I don't want to come off condescending or rude about this when I say this. If there's so much evolution with this season's guns and the previous season's guns and the previous season, why are we reusing weapons from Shadowkeep for Lightfall? That's still like, I really am bothered by that, because if you watch the Game Awards trailer, it shows like all of the Shadowkeep guns, like models there, and I'm just like, why do it? Like, I if you're so down with this new design philosophy,
Who
why
cares,
are
Neil
we?
Popgober?
Fair. I
I
agree.
mean, yeah.
I understand what you're saying. Sorry to
Yeah,
acknowledge.
no, I appreciate it. It broke the monotony, but it's just that was funny. So like because I love, like, this season's guns are some of the funnest I've had in a minute. Like the new pulse rifle is becoming my new workhorse everything and my new PvP everything. Like, I'm gonna have two crafted versions because it has so many different options. It has like almost every good perk you can want in a pulse rifle available to it. It's gonna be great. So
It's just a better messenger now.
Better messenger, better blast furnace. Like, it's so good. So I'm excited. So like that was the majority of the podcast was talking about airborne effectiveness, because they want to see airborne effectiveness get different tweaks, get come down and be better for the community. We will link it in the show notes. That way you can talk about it. Like, you can watch it from there and go more in depth if you want to. But that's like the Destiny community podcast is the bomb. Just like, we're the bomb, so we gotta like shout them out and be cool like that. TWAB was super short, was very much a roundup for the year. They did announce that the Synthwave Arbalest skin won for all you people who voted for Synthwave. Sadness for Black Armory skin. I'm a little sad about it, but it's fine. You forgot to vote?
I wanted to vote for the Black Armory one. Maybe if I would have voted, we would have won.
Sad. Right, like one vote. Now,
I think it won significantly.
I enjoyed that Bungie said this. They talked about how there was an AMA recently, a while back. We mentioned it previously, how Bungie had stopped doing as many secret things because of leaks. And Bungie said, while the leaks are going to happen, they are committed to bringing new secrets to the game. They tried to like hide some things here and there this season and the last season a little bit. But, and like, they even recognize there hasn't been a good secret mission since Presage. But when Lightfall comes out, the newer seasons come out, you're gonna see a new, more of a focus on giving you more thrills, more secrets, more fun things to do. So that was cool to hear that we weren't just abandoning
what
ship
they
on
said
that.
Was originally like,
I was pretty hyped
what they
about
meant
that.
Was mistaken or like misconstrued. It was more like that all secrets aren't worth.
It might have been, yeah.
Missions, or like all the sneak peeks and teasers and stuff they want to put in the game aren't things that would be deserving of their own secret mission or secret puzzle. Like, they like burying clues and hints in the story itself now, instead of making this big, huge, repeatable mission for like one thing.
Exactly. So that was pretty cool to hear that we are looking into that. So definitely be hyped about new things coming in the future. I
was just gonna say, that's okay. I think it'll be interesting to see how Lightfall plays out, just because like the secrets and stuff. I wonder because they've been expanding so much. I wonder if they weren't able to like implement those new teams until Lightfall. So maybe Lightfall will literally just like blow. My hope is it blows
That
the
would be
game out
really
of the water.
cool.
Like it is really just like this whole like
I
new Destiny.
as long as it doesn't come out and people
One can
start
hope.
It would be awesome.
just keep on
Yeah.
with this negativity string we got going right now, because
Oh my god.
It's out of control. Like
It's out of
we
control.
really need to like back off. What we talked about last week, and I'll admit, last week, like it was our 20th episode, felt like us just bitching and telling y'all to shut up. But like, it felt like it was needed. Like we
sure.
legitimately need to stop being so negative about this game. Like even Blackburn came out and said, "Hey, we understand you're not so thrilled about the current model, but we can't reinvent the wheel in a day. There's stuff that's already planned. There's content coming and new variety coming in certain ways, but y'all gotta just give us time. So if y'all not really happy with the model right now, take a break. But I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have me a revision 0 in a few days. Like that's all it is." And like and just from the leaks that happened the past couple days, because people have been going out of bounds and going outside the map. I swear, you're gonna hear Tuesday come, and everyone's gonna be like, "Why does it look like this? Why did they copy and paste everything?"
Wait, stop. I haven't seen the leaks. Don't even.
That's why I'm keeping it very vague. That's why I'm keeping it very
I'm pretty
vague for that
intuitive,
reason.
so I don't know.
So like, why are you just copying and pasting everything? It's just like that's what Tuesday's gonna be. Is people just saying, "Why is Bungie copying and pasting everything?" But it will literally make sense as to why they're copying and pasting everything.
Like, it would make sense that things look the same.
Yes, literally, it's literally that. So just enjoy the content, have a good time. To emphasize last week a little bit, let's go ahead and dive into some listener questions, because like now that the Discord's open, you can ask questions, come and have a good time. In regards to that. Y'all are being clowns in the Discord, and I can't stand y'all. Y'all thought y'all were slick.
Peacekeepers?
Also, peacekeepers are not that scary, Falcon. Calm down.
They're scary.
They're not even that good to use. Like I don't even understand why. Like literally,
Antaeus aren't that good to use.
Antaeus are terrifying.
Hey, those are fun. I like those. They're great.
Antaeus are great, and like I'm surprised like people aren't bitching about Antaeus getting nerfed. But like peacekeepers,
no one uses them.
Actually, no, they're actually like very wide use. Actually, but the problem with peacekeepers is you can do the same thing that peacekeepers can with a holster mod. Peacekeepers is nothing. So it's like when people are like, "Oh my god, peacekeepers terrible," I'm like, bro, I can strap on a holster mod if I wanted to do the same damn thing. It's fine. But anyway, going into our listener questions real quick. Let me go ahead and jump in this. So first one we got. Actually, no, Toll, I've done enough talking. Toll, you talk about listener questions.
I mean, all right. Let's start out with a very, very basic one from Fuika. What is everyone's favorite weapon foundry?
As of this week, Tex Mechanica.
No, just in general. Not of this week.
That was originally
like,
my
as
answer
of,
because I used to be a DMT person. I'm really angry about what they did to my favorite guy.
Used to be.
Angry. I just worked 70 hours. I can say angry if I want to.
No, you valid. Honestly, for me, it's a tie between Hake and Amalon, solely because like I love so many different Amalon weapons, like Hung Jury. There's some of the other scout rifles that like there was an arc scout rifle a while back that was really good for them. I forget who it was. But like I love me some Amalon. I love like the energy, like liquid style to them. So I think it actually will be Amalon for me. Yeah, I love me some Amalon shit. Amalon.
If you have one.
Falcon, what's your favorite foundry?
Oh, I didn't.
Falcon.
What? I said Vice.
Oh,
like-
no one heard you.
Talking over each other.
Oh, I said it like right away.
Oh, so what do you got?
I like Hake. I like basic guns that go pew pew pew.
Fair
And
enough.
that is basically what Hake is.
I mean,
Basic
yeah.
guns that go pew pew pew.
You're not wrong. All right, so what else we got?
Now that we have all the 3.0s out, what is your overall favorite?
I will say
Like, what's your overall favorite
I
subclass
play more
now?
Arc Hunter than
Arc
I
on
ever
Hunter.
played Arc Hunter before.
Void on Titan.
Same.
I would say Void on Titan because the one thing that I used to always say with Void Titan was it had nothing worth using. And then they were like, hey, we're going to make Void Titan good in PvP and PvP. And I'm like, okay. Now, if they could just bring down the charge time for Sentinel Shield to make like roaming supers be viable in PvP again, we could talk. Because then I could use Doomfang Pauldrons and make a Doomfang Pauldrons build for PvP. And we'd be having more fun. But like overall, Void Titan definitely won. So I've bitched about Solar 3.0 till the cows come home. So Solar Titan gets nothing from me. Arc Titan has been a lot of fun, but I'm tired of people bitching about Storm Nades. So I don't want to talk about it anymore.
I like Arc Titan because I can't say I like Solar Titan, because Solar Titan, as you know from how we feel about this podcast, is absolute trash. Don't get me wrong, I love Solar, but Solar 3.0 just isn't it.
Yes,
It needs
I
complete
don't
rework.
think anything is wrong with
I
Solar
think every
Hunters.
class.
Solar Hunter's pretty good.
Ah,
I think
there's
Solar
just
Hunter
Solar
combos
Titan.
y'all damage
No,
output was
it's
trash.
not. Solar Titan
Solar
is trash.
Warlock's pretty good too.
Yeah, Solar Warlock's pretty good, honestly. I think the issue with Solar Hunter was their damage output was kind of ass
I don't have an
in terms of PvP. Like y'all super,
I'll say,
like
I don't
other
have
than
an
y'all
opinion on
supers,
Warlock
you were
'cause
kind
every
of
time
lacking.
I
It
played,
felt
it's
like.
only because no one else wants to play well.
So yeah, no, that was pretty. That's fair. What else we got, Toll?
Let us see. Let us see. Let us see. Let us.
Lettuce is a
Lettuce. That's a
food.
weird word.
Let us
Lettuce.
see. Tomato.
Let us. Do you believe that after Rasputin is fixed, we'll have race duo Wrath to find and defeat Clovis Spray?
I need Zivu or Wrath to do something besides like send Wrathborn to us. And Vife pointed out something very funny from this season's thing. That I'll talk about more in depth next week. But like Zivu or Wrath keeps reusing things and rebirthing things. I need Zivu or Wrath to do something besides being a lore book. Because the most we've seen Zivu or Wrath do in terms of like actually stepping up and doing something herself was having a mind fight with Marasov. Like I need Zivu to do something in terms of like step up to the plate like Oryx and Savathun. Because I don't think Zivu's big enough to get her own expansion. So I think they just need to put her out. Like up until this season, we had never heard nothing about a war song
Yes,
ever.
they did.
And like,
Did
oh,
you
she
read-
has a
Oh.
war song. I'm like, okay. Like what? Not in a lore book. I mean, like this is the first time like her war song has played a factor in terms of the game.
Panda
Like,
does not read lore. That
I
often.
do read lore, thank you very much. I read more lore than you. I'm saying in terms of like the gameplay that the
Walls.
casual experience can see. Like this is the first time you know I read more lore than you, Joel. Anyway.
It took you months to read that one lore page that we were all like, "Hey, you should go read this."
Because it was like an old Saint one that I hadn't got to yet. I was working every day and I forgot about it. So no. Anyway, I just need Zivu to do a damn thing and stop hiding in the shadow. Like other than like one like sketch of her from a cutscene, we still don't know what Zivu or Wrath looks like.
Good.
So it would be nice if we got to see what this bitch looks like.
Well,
I bet she looks like a hive.
Scandalous, Toll. Scandalous.
I know,
So her
massive
war
spoilers.
song
She's
was what fucked
Rasputin.
your boy up.
She
And,
is Rasputin.
We didn't really see her because at one point, hold on, I just lost all capability of speaking. Jesus Christ.
Who's my boy?
Osiris. Her war song, her thrall, is what was affecting things that Osiris was.
Oh, okay.
Rushed in dick first and
That
got
is my
Sagira
boy.
killed and almost died, and all that fun stuff. But she was also, we didn't see her around the time Witch Queen came out because she was hiding from her sister. That was like a whole thing that was part of the story, and we haven't seen her yet because she's probably biding her time given everything that's going on.
All we know is that she attacked Tora Bottle.
I was gonna say, I imagine she used most of her attacking force and her ability to transport massive amounts of hive, because they talk about what it would take to open portals across the Ascendant Plane like that, how much energy it would take. So I imagine she used most of it to attack Tora Bottle, so she can't do anything right now.
Right.
Yeah.
You're
the one that spearheads every
I'm like,
conversation. If you don't want to talk that much, that's all you have to say.
I've told you guys I don't want to talk as much. This is our podcast, you hooligans. Anyway, but no, I just need Zivu to do something, damn it. But that's just my thing. So just be excited for fun things.
Fun things are on the way. So be ready for that. We got trials this weekend. We have January 3rd. We're getting Iron Banner Fortress. Then later in January, we're getting Grandmasters. We got Moments of Triumph. We got Dawning. We got the new season, new dungeon. There's content to play in Destiny. There's stuff to do. So don't say, "Oh, I don't know what to do in Destiny." There's stuff to do. Don't worry about it. Have some fun.
Don't worry about it.
Come bake some cookies.
Season of the cookies.
Get a cookie, got a cookie.
I'm excited to have more fun. I'm just excited that y'all are talking. This is great. I'm having fun. So was there any more listener questions, Tool?
There was 1 week in which the planets that we don't have access to currently. Where would you like to see a mission
Basically,
go or
if
get
we got
outright
the planets
get access to
back,
when we would?
If we got the planets back, what would we do?
I can't speak. I'm sorry. So all the listeners out there, my brain just went mush.
So after this week's story mission, Bungie, listen to me. I don't want it to just be a mission. Can I have it all? Can I have it all back, please? Please,
Yeah.
Bungie, listen. I want it all back. I need it all. You know how nice it was to go back there? It was so nice. You literally gave me the entire freaking area minus the the starting point from the expansion in one level. All you have to do is make it a node on the map. Let me go back. Let me go play there. Let me go do things. Just let it happen. It won't hurt you. Just let and also you exposed yourself. I'll in terms of I'll talk about it more next week because Priz ain't done it. But we will talk about it next week about how you exposed yourselves. But it's fine.
You have such an
let me have it back, please, Bungie. Just let me have my nice planet back, please. Anyway, Toll what? Because it has so much stuff there and so much potential, and they legit just went, hey, here's almost all of it, and it's I want it.
Because you had to go find all those
I
stupid
want it
little
back.
elemental thingies forever and a day.
So, yeah.
And
Spent a lot of time on Mars.
Would never.
Yeah.
So yeah, just give us the.
Oh god.
That took me so long.
But that was so much fun.
It took me almost 2 days to get my last node.
Sorry, I
it's
didn't
so
mean
much
to
fun.
deter the conversation.
So just
Go cookie, go cookie.
so what the heck? No, you're fine.
Why?
Toll, what do you want to come back?
Titan.
I would get behind.
Gross.
I would get behind Io only because
That or Io.
I used to like to climb the Pyramidion and sit at the top when I was stuck in my head.
Because he wants his waifu back. Same.
I like the strikes. I want the strikes back.
Who was your wife?
You just want your waifu back on Titan.
Really?
Yeah, but I also want my.
He had a crush on Sloan.
I don't know if I missed this information in the pamphlet or what.
What? Mature woman.
Oh, I miss Asher. He was sad.
In the pamphlet.
But I could also go for Asher Mirror. Man, it's probably crazy.
That's funny. Falcon, what would you want to see come back?
I want to see all the PvP maps come back. No chaos, all chaos. Just add them. All
Just
chaos,
throw 'em back
even
in.
the shitty ones.
Do that with the gamut maps too. Fuck it.
Ugh.
Full send.
Yep, full send.
Full send.
All right,
Bring everything
fair
back.
enough. Let's put everything back. Even Leviathan, put it all back. All right, folks. We're gonna go ahead and wrap up the show. Don't forget that you can listen to this podcast on everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, iHeartRadio, everywhere. Like, check us out. Rate us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. The way people find the show better. Follow us on Twitter. Like you help us grow by following us on Twitter and join the Discord. That way, you can get your listener question answered next week on the show. Links will be in the show notes. Make sure you check that stuff out. Falcon, my tired friend, what is your closing statement for this episode?
Just stay excited for the game. I think there's a lot of good stuff coming and there's a lot of good stuff right now. So just play it at your own pace. That doesn't make you want to pull your hair out. So yeah.
Agreed. Chris,
I don't know
my
what
other
really
tired
happened
envy.
this
How are
week.
you? What's your closing
brain
statement?
mush, 45 minutes of sleep. That's all I got for you this week. But fine. Continue to don't listen to all the hate and negativity in the
Okay, fair
news
enough.
right now.
Toll,
if
your
you
closing
need
statement.
A place to be where it's not going to be like that. Come join our Discord. Talk to us.
Fair enough. All right, and then Toll, what you got, bro?
Look, y'all can see Bungie is working on stuff. Bungie is listening to us. It takes time. So rather than bitching, why don't we just wait, see what happens? You don't have to play the game right now. Go shoo. If you don't want to play, shoo. Like, I hate to say it that way, but just if you don't want to play and you're going to bring a negative experience to us that like it, shoo.
Fair enough.
Wait for Lightfall, wait for the big expansion, wait for the massive patch notes, the sweeping meta changes, and then come back. Like, the game will still be here for you. Like, you can probably get all the seasonal content done in like a week and a half. So don't worry about it. You can get your Revision 0 still.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. And honestly, for me, like, they said everything I wanted to say. Like, just be excited, quit hating. Like, new stuff is coming. Like, the fact that we legit have a brand new exotic never seen before in terms of concept before coming in a few days has me pumped. So, like, just be hyped for new stuff and just enjoy the ride. Like, that's all I got. So we will catch you folks Starside. Peace out.
Gamers.